Welcome back to Ozstar Adventures. Today, well, actually tomorrow, we're going to make some mouth-watering pork ribs in the Weber kettle using the minion method, which is perfect for low and slow cooking. So let's get started. We're going to start tonight so that they're ready to go for tomorrow. So what we need: rack of ribs. Went to Beef Shed in Malaga, picked up 2 full racks of pork spare ribs, baby back ones. Got my favourite dry rub, Meat Church. Today we're using honey bacon barbecue. You're going to need some barbecue sauce for glazing. So I've got the old Stubbs's, a bit of classic yellow mustard for binding the rub to the ribs, and a bit of Maker's Mark cask strength to keep me lubricated. All right, I've got some hickory, cherry and applewood downstairs ready to go, and obviously I've got my Weber kettle all down there ready to go too. Right, so the first thing we've got to do is we've got to prep our ribs. So I'm going to take off the bottom and the gristle and all of that, pull off the membrane on the back, bit of binder, some rub, and then they'll go in the fridge and they'll sit in there all night until they're ready to go tomorrow. All right, so let's get cracking on to that. Alright, big ribs. Ooh, these are sensational. Alright, let's start with this first one. I might fast forward through some of this so you don't have to watch all of it. But all I'm going to do, basically trim it all up. Anything like this goes to the dog, which she's going to love. A little bit of this excess fat here, that comes off too. And then this looks pretty good. So what you want to do is get here and get this membrane off. And if you can't get this with your fingers, just get a bit of paper towel and use your paper towel to help you pull these off. Alright, like I said, this is for a bit of lubrication. So good. Alright, now racks. Bit of yellow mustard. Don't really need it, and you'd probably get away without it because your rub will just stick to the ribs anyway, but I'll still use it. Give them a good rub over. What's that? Bit of bone there or something. Both sides, edges, ends. You always got to rub your mate. All right, let me clean these up. Okay. Here we go. Rub time. Now, I've taken to putting back the seal on my rubs because I find that up here the humidity gets to them and they clump up again. So if I put that on, it seems to help it a little bit. Now, You want to apply your rub very liberally. So I'm going to give these a good coat on this side. Flip them over. A little bit of paper towel there. And give them a real good coat on that side. Oh yeah. Looking good, looking good. Now I'm actually going to get a different rub for the other rack. And for the other rack, I'm going to use Lane's Magic Dust. Not quite as spicy as the Honey Hog and the Meat Church products. And Mandy and the boys seem to enjoy it a little bit more. Pat in, flip her over, clean this hand again. And there we go. Now they will sit in the fridge overnight, and we will pick this up again tomorrow, when I'll show you setting up the kettle and getting the kettle all ready. And yes, I'll probably have some lubrication then again tomorrow. Until then, be safe. All right, welcome back. That's the next day, and we are going to get the kettle set up. I've got a couple of blocks of apple wood to go in there. I've got my heat beads, which I'll light up shortly, and then we're using the minion method today, which I love doing, because you just dump it all in the charcoal grates, light it from one end and walk away. I find it keeps a nice even temperature for the whole cook, and it's there's no work involved for me really as such. So let's get this all going so you can see how we do it. Right. I like removing the grill completely so I can get into the baskets. And then pull this up. Nice load of them. And I'm going to do something a little different today. I'm actually going to light my fire in the middle so it burns out to both sides. So I'm going to put all my lit heat beads here into the centre, and then that means the fire will burn out that way. I've also got my starter here, so I'm only going to throw 10, 12 briquettes in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'll go get these lit up now, and we'll come back when it's all good to go. Alright, and we're back. The half a dozen briquettes that I put, they're ashed over and ready to go, so I'm going to tip them in the hole that I've made here. In the Weber, I've also put a couple of aluminium trays, and they're going to just catch any of that fat and stuff from the wood. You can also put a bit of hot water into them to stabilise the temperature, but that's all I'm going to do. I'm just put them in there dry. The glue goes back in. I have got my 2 box chunks of apple. So I'm just going to, I'm actually going to leave them out and I'm going to put them on top there in a second. And my center grill back in. And I'm going to close this all up. Leave my vents wide open and wide open. And I'm going to let that get up to temp, somewhere around that 110, 120 mark, maybe 140 if it gets to that. Not going to bother me. Once it's up to temp, I'm going to put my ribs in. I'm going to smoke them until about 60, 70 degrees internal, at which point I'm going to wrap them and put some butter, honey, and a bit of apple juice inside the ribs in the foil, and put them back in there and let them go until they are fallen off the bone tender. Alright, we're back. Weber's up to temp. I've got my lubrication, Bolter's XPA, top true. Alright, we are ready to go. I'm just going to put some gloves on. Chunks of apple in there. So these are the honey hot hog ones, and these ones are the Lane's Magic Dust ones. So that's them on. That's all we're doing. Close the lid now, and I'll just let that go. I'll probably knock this back a little bit, about halfway. And that's it. I'm not going to touch them, not going to look at them for at least 2 hours. So it's 11:30 now, so I won't be back out here until about 1:30, and that's it. Alright, we are back. Our ribs are up to temperature. I have just probed them and they're sitting about 68, 70 degrees. So all I did during the cook was give them a flip over and turn them upside down. They've got a lovely colour on them, and they're looking really good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to wrap them in alfoil. We're going to put some butter, some apple juice, a couple of pads of butter, apple juice, some honey, and this is actually farm honey from a friend of mine. So I'm going to put them on one of the ribs and see if there's a difference. But what I'll do is I'll reset all the cameras so we get a close-up view, or maybe I won't, I'll just go as we are, and we'll just go from there. So I'll just close this and set myself first, and then we'll get going. Alright, yeah, you want to wrap these ribs really good. So what I usually do is I throw a couple of layers down, slightly overlapping. So I've got plenty of room there, like so. And then I'll put my ribs right in the middle. And we'll start with these lanes one. They are looking sensational. Alright, let's just hope I don't drop them. Okay, these ones will be for Mandy and the boys. So, a couple of pads of butter, do the 3 of them, and then I'm actually going to drizzle these ones with the farm honey. So, a lady I used to work with, she raises the bees, or keeps bees, keeps bees, whatever they call them, apiarist, and she gave me a bit of this farm honey of hers. So, put a bit of that in there. That should be lovely. And then just poke these sides up, like so. Oh, I've got to say, they're smelling delicious. And then the apple juice. so not too much, just a little, keep a bit of moisture in there, keep them nice and juicy. Right. And now we just wrap. Seal it up nice and tight. Don't want any of the juices getting out, and then what that will do is that will steam now and give you that tender feel off the bottom ribs. So those ones I'm going to put at the closest to the fire, and we'll shift the other ones to the back of the fire, away from the fire, and then I'll put the thickest part towards the fire as well, so they can take a bit more heat. Alright, set yourself for the next one. Again, another double layer. These ribs. These are the honey hog ones. Meat church ribs. Oh, they're looking sensational too. Bones pulling away from the ribs. A little bit. Alright. Get apple juice in there. Again, pads of butter. Already going soft. And a bit of this shop-bought honey. Now, these go back in here, like so. There's no more smoke, no more of that, it's just heat now. I've turned the bottom vent right down, I've closed it right down to reduce the heat. I'll close this one up about halfway, and we're just going to let that go now until those ribs get to about 100 internal temp, 95, 100, somewhere around there. That should make them fall off the bone, tender, juicy, beautiful ribs. In the meantime, I'm not going to touch it, not going to do anything else. Once they are at temp, then that's when I'm going to baste them with my barbecue sauce. So I'm using the Stubbs' stuff, but I also found in the fridge some another one. I can't remember the name of it, but I'll bring that down when we are ready to go. So that's it for now. Now we just leave it again for another hour or so, hour and a half. All right, ribs are ready. They've been in the foil, so now I'm gonna put some sauce on them. So the other one was Sweet Baby Ray's. I couldn't remember what that was. Found that in the fridge. We used some Stubbs and finish them off in the weather here. So maybe another 20 minutes. I know that they are done. I've probed them. They are very tender and fall off the bone. Pulled back from the bone, and I'm actually a little scared that we might lose them. So I'm going to get an aluminium tray and get them up into the tray. Although, maybe what I'll do is I'll just leave them there and pull the foil back. Like so. And then when it's time, I'll just flip them. Oh, look at all that juice. Delicious. All right. Let's get a bit of Sweet Baby Ray's on these ones. These are from Andy and the boys. Like so. Brush it all over well. And then for the other ones, we do a bit of Stubbs's. well. Right. Put that back down. Open that right up. Get some heat right back in there. That'll dry them out and sauce them up a bit. So we'll do that a couple of times, and another half hour, 40 minutes, they'll be done. Perfection. All right, over and out. All right, so they've basted. I flipped them a couple of times and put them over the coals, finished them off. So what we're actually going to do now is we're just going to pull them out. I'm going to rest them on the board for a couple of minutes. Helps retain the juices, and then we'll cut it open. We'll give you a look, see if there's any smoke ring inside there, and have a taste. Most important. All right. Oh, that looks so good. Oh. Sensational. Alright, we'll close all this off because we're done here. Shut that down. And then what I'll do is I'll shift the cameras and get you in for a good look as we cut it open. Alrighty. The ribs have had a couple of minutes to rest. And this one at the front is the honey hog with the meat church, and this at the back is the lanes. So let's go this way. Oh, they feel good. I can already see the smoke ring in that. Oh, look at that. So nice a ring. So they're the honey hog ones. Let's have a look at this lanes one. Oh, same. Beautiful smoke ring on that. They look delicious. They don't look too dry. There's a bit of moisture in there. I think they're going to be delicious. So what I'll do is we'll section these all up because we're going to eat out here tonight. And Andy's just gone up to get simple slaw and a few drinks. Like them plain and simple, so we don't lose any and chuck them up on top. Looks so good. Alright, now I'm going to cut one of these ones because the honey hog is for me. My dog's looking at me wondering where's mine. Okay. Still got a lot of bite, texture wise. Nice smoke flavour. That barbecue sauce is stubbed. Rub. Sensational. Right. I hope you like what you've seen today. I'm going to try to put out a video every month this year. Who knows if it'll happen or not. But that's the plan. Alright, if you like what you've seen, thumbs up would be great. I don't care about subscriptions or any of that. I'll just do this because it's a little bit of fun outside my normal job. Anyway, that is me done. Thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. And until then, stay safe.